So my wife and kids went on a quick trip during spring break, and I had to work, so I had an evening to myself, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go work on a bowl, make something in the shop. I'm gonna skip the epoxy thing. We're doing just straight wood bowl, make it simple. No interruptions from the kids 50 times asking about who punched him and why. You know, just gonna have a great time in the shop. So I ran out to the wood pile because I refuse to take care of my wood and keep it sealed and cured correctly, and I just throw caution to the wind. I thought this is gonna be easy. It's gonna be a great evening, no big deal. I think I accidentally picked up a piece of granite. This thing was so freaking hard. You notice how weirdly it's shaped. I think this thing grew around another tree or something and made the grain super dense. I don't know, that's my theory, but it also has different sections in it. It grew really oddly, and yeah, I was cutting across the grain in a weird way as well, but I've done a lot of bowls like this without a problem. This thing was a serious fight. Instead of it taking a few hours one evening, it took like 4 days, and I'm not even gonna tell you how many hours. But in the end, it was cool. You can see this crack right there. That will come back to haunt me. I actually glued it. I didn't include that part, but I glued it knowing this was gonna be an issue. But I did not glue it enough. So we'll get to that. I bet I sharpened my 3 or 4 bowl gouges like 5 times trying to get through this first part. Once I got past the outer layers, it softened up a bit, and the angle changes as you start to get a bowl shape, and that really helped with the grain. But I'm telling you, I think this is willow wood. This was my best guess based on how it looks. And I had somebody comment on another project that willow wood for them has been the best and the worst wood to ever work with, and I would agree with that 100%. Some of it I've used has been super soft and ridiculously easy to work with, and this piece was by far the hardest of all the projects I've done. This was the hardest, period. I could have chiseled it faster. I should have just used the chainsaw. It was so hard. So I don't know if you have any tips for that kind of thing, other than sharpening your gouges perfectly and that, but if you watch closely, I go through every tool I own trying to find something that would work. There's an interview with Will Smith out there. It's kind of an older one. He's one of our favorite actors. I actually got to meet him one time. Anyway, he tells this thing, he's like, I may not be as smart as you or sexy as you or strong as you or whatever, but I have one thing. You may beat me 9 categories out of 10, but I promise you, if we both got on a treadmill and we had a competition to see who's going to stay on the longest, one of 2 things is going to happen. Either you're getting off or I'm going to die. I got to a point with this stupid bowl, it was like, it's either going to be the next piece of firewood I burn, or it's me or the bowl. And I'm a pretty stubborn guy, and I just kept working this thing because I had invested so much time in it. I couldn't give up now, you know. Little did I know that this was the least of my problems about to happen, but that was kind of my mentality. I'm sure somebody else with a bigger brain would have been like, forget it, move on. But I don't know. I have a hard time giving up on hours spent. It's the most valuable thing I've got. So, anywho. You'll notice at the beginning of this video, I did a quick little thing for Laguna Lathes. They have been kind enough to donate some equipment. Knowing this is a charity channel, I'm raising money for Operation Underground Railroad. So show their support to them. This lathe has been absolutely phenomenal. What you're seeing here is repair number 1, let's call it. A little chip came off my tendon as I was working. I've mentioned it before, but that instant set super glue is absolutely phenomenal. You put the glue in there, spray the activator on there, and within 5 seconds it's absolutely rock hard. And thank heavens I found this when I did. A couple of weeks ago, the first time I tried it. If I'd been stuck with my typical super glue or wood glue, I probably would have abandoned this project, because I can only invest so much time in something, and this stuff's awesome. It's instant fix, and I mean hardcore fix. This bowl falls apart a couple more times, but it never breaks in the same place twice. It's just bad wood, of course, and I really like this cracked wood, crazy old look, half rotten stuff. It gives it a ton of character. I respect people who find perfect pieces of wood or take the time to seal the ends and let it cure the appropriate amount of time. I totally respect that. But I kind of like the real natural look to it. It tells a story. It tells what wood really goes through in nature, you know, from birth to death and complete rotting and so on. And I kind of like to capture projects that show what a piece of wood has gone through. I think it's interesting, in my line of work, I treat a lot of people, meet a lot of people, different personalities, and some people do everything they can to fight the effects of old age, of wrinkles and sun damage and whatever, and then some people don't. They just kind of accept that's what they're going to look like. And I think there's a real beauty to people who accept what has happened to them through life, and they wear their scars and gray hair and whatever as a badge. Tells a story. I think it's a beautiful story, and I think it's something we should embrace. So there's my philosophy for the day for you. The whole point of this channel is to support Operation Underground Railroad. These guys go around the world fighting child sex trafficking. They've had great success. They just rescued their 5,000th person, which is amazing. They take care to not just get them out of these child sex trafficking rings, but to also put them in aftercare places that are safe, whether that's adoption or a new home or repatriating them back to where they belong, whatever it means. They do the best they can. Very expensive process. So everything I make here is sold on art4our.org. You can buy that, as well as about, I don't know, we're nearing about 40 different artists who have made donations of paintings and woodworking and you name it. If you are an artist or you know one, send them our way. Send a donation our way. We'll make the most of it. It's an awesome experience. Nothing better than helping out this process. If you look in the description of the video or go to art4our, you'll find a number of things you can do to help out, whether that's shopping on a specific Amazon link or making a donation, money or art or whatever. Here's repair number 2. Tendon started to jiggle and I realized it had torn through. What was happening is I was catching that outer lip and had some pretty wicked cracks in it, and I was catching those on occasion really hard. So not being the greatest quality wood, it started to tear through. That's just a quick look at the glue I use. Instant set super glue. when you work on a bowl like this, these outer wings are quite precarious. You got to be really gentle, really slow. Obviously, if you push into it, you'll catch it and rip the thing apart. Every time I make one of these projects, somebody always comments, "I'm glad you survived." It's not a light thing they're saying. Although I will say this: once you got the outside finished, the inside, if something flies off, it's flying out, not at you, and I'm standing to the side of it, so it's actually not that dangerous. He said, I'm sure somebody's got a story that'll indicate otherwise, but I always wear the proper equipment. I've got a big shield on, headphones. I even wear a P100 mask so I protect my lungs. So when things do go badly, I've yet to sustain anything more than a cut. It certainly does have potential to hurt people, though, so every precaution should be taken, and you really shouldn't be working around other people, especially when you're doing this kind of work where it's, I'm half expecting this thing to pop apart at any point. You're about to see something spectacular. I knew this was going to happen. I reinforced these cracks, did everything I could with glue, but I don't know. I think right here it's probably almost midnight, because that's how crazy I am. And things are going to happen when you're stupid. You'll notice right there, everything flies out, not towards you, and since you're sitting on the end, you're fine. That was amazing. I had to change my pants after that one. Scared the crap right out of me. So, right here, I almost got off the treadmill. I almost tossed it in the garbage. But I had invested, I'm not going to admit how much time at this point. And I said, this thing's got hope. I want to see what this glue can really do. So not only did it tear this huge limb off, this wing off the bowl, but the tenon broke in a whole new place. But that glue's amazing. I put it all back together, and it held for the rest of the project. And what's really cool is I was ready to go in about 5 minutes, so that glue is nothing short of miraculous. You can see me testing it. I'm not being gentle right there. I am putting my weight on this thing, and it's strong as can be, so decided to go for it. I did have to repair that one part of the tenon again, so I guess it was wrong. Part of it did come off that I had repaired before, but just that small piece. As always, a huge thank you to everyone who has supported my somewhat odd attempt at charity work. I don't know if anyone else is doing a YouTube channel to raise money for charity, but here I am. I've had people do paid subscriptions. Gives you a discount on anything I make if you decide to buy it. But more importantly, anything that comes to me, I send right to Operation Underground Railroad. You can buy a t-shirt, just look in the description. You can go to art4our.org and buy something. There's all kinds of stuff there. Treats, freeze-dried stuff, plates, paintings, a lot of good stuff. And again, we love donations. The way it works is the artist, we list it for the artist, but they hold on to the item. Once it sells, we let the artist know, they ship it, and then we reimburse the artist for the shipping costs, or they can just donate that as part of their gift. So far we've had, I think, 40 sales, probably 50 total before we got all organized. We've just cracked the, I think, $12,000 mark. So I've been very, very grateful for everyone who's helped raise money and supported me in my crazy art and woodworking endeavors. One thing I did here is on the bottom side of this crack, part of the bowl fell off. I couldn't find it, so I filled it with sawdust and then filled that full of glue, and it works very well as a kind of a mortar. After I got everything to the point where I was finished, then I came back with my little rotozip. It's like a small router, and just kind of cleaned out that crack so it looked natural. And I had somebody looking at it the other day, and they said, oh, I didn't even notice that. So I can't unsee it, so I was kind of dissatisfied with that. But in the end, I thought it was worth salvaging the bowl. I kind of feel like this channel is a how you don't do things 101, or how I set out to do something and something else happens. But it's the uncertainty of woodworking that kind of keeps you coming back. You never know if something's going to work out, even if you have the greatest plan. I didn't use any resin on this project. I suppose I could have done that with the cracks and that, but decided to just keep it purely woodworking. Had to take a break from resin for a minute. That being said, Total Boat has been awesome enough to donate a whole bunch of resin for my projects, and I've got a couple of cool ones planned coming up. If you're in need of resin, go to totalboat.com. In the description, you'll see a code. I think it's Preece 15, Preece 15, and you can get a discount on any of their products.